Hi guys, I hope you are doing well. Welcome to my channel. In this clip we want to learn how we can programming C# in the Unity with using one of the famous design patterns in the C# of Unity, which is called command pattern. With using this pattern, we can store some essential informations such as parameters, variables, actions, and functions in the list, and we can call them or use them in the another time. Okay, let's figure it out how we can implement it. And for this purpose, I've created this scene, which is an empty scene, and it already has a cube, and I played the scene, and now we can see the result of this action. Okay, I pressing W forward, 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 A, S, D, S, A. And now I press R to replay all of these functions from the beginning. And now, for example, I press A, and S, and now I press Z. Look at this, it's something like undo. Okay, now open the script of the input handler, which is attached to the cube, and let's see what is the content of this script. Alright, look at this, it is a simple C# script, but it is inside of namespace command pattern. Let's take a look at the variables of this script. First one, it is public transform box trans, which is in the inspector of the Unity, you can see that box trans is equal that cube. So the box trans is cube. Okay, in here we have private command button W, S, A, D, B, Z, and R. But all of these variables are commands. Okay, let's take a look at command. As you can see, we have the C# command class in here, and let's see in here. It is the simple public abstract class, and it is inside of the namespace command pattern. In the public class command, we have some informations, which is common between all the other classes. For example, protected float move distance equal 1 meter. So if you press W for going forward, it will be equal 1 meter forward, or 1 meter left, 1 meter right, or 1 meter reverse. In here we have public abstract void execute. In here you can store that function you want to call, and that object you want to see the movement of this object. So it will be equal object or box trans, and it will be equal that command you have called. And in here, public virtual void undo, undoing the on that object, which is box trans or that cube, and that function, that object you want to move. In here, let's take a look at the structure of public class move forward, which is in the command system. We have something which is called public override void execute, and that object you want to move, and that command you want to call. It is exactly the same with this guy, execute. And in here, I say move that object. Once we call this class and this function, move this object, move cube or box trans, and after that, store the parameter of this class move forward into the one list in here, input handler. Okay. And finally, once we want to move, in here we have public override void move this object, public box trans, and okay, box trans.translate with this angle, box trans.forward, and about 1 meter. Once we want to undo this action, we will see just opposite parameter in opposite element in here. So the undo will be opposite of this function, move, but with the minus. Okay. As you can see, we can duplicate this structure for reverse as well. Public override void execute blah 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 blah. All of them are the same. But in here, in the move, it is the reverse. So box trans.transfer and translate, because it is reverse, forward it is minus, and move distance 1 meter. And in here for undo, it is exactly opposite with this guy. Box trans.translate, positive. Box trans.forward. Okay? It is the same for left. Look at this, and these are the same. And in here, for the move, because it is the left, so the box trans.right is minus for move, and for the undo, box trans.right is normal. And for the right, it is the same. Box trans.right for the right function, and box trans opposite for undo. Okay. And in here, for example, we have undo command. In the do nothing, you can call whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. For example, you can store anything, or you can save anything, or you can print anything. In here, I just called it as a null object or nothing, but you can do whatever you want. And in here, we have undo command. In the undo command, we will do and we will say, okay, the old commands, it is a list of commands which is we have stored in each classes here, equal with the input handler old commands. Let's come back to the input handler. In here, in the parameters, we have public static list of commands, old commands. For example, when I press A, it moves the object to the right and to the left, sorry, and to the left, and store the function of move left inside of this old commands. If I press 2 times A, it stores 2 times move to left in this list. Okay? And in here, we'll say, okay, if this list is not null, it's not empty, okay, let's call all the undo functions of these commands, because each commands had move and undo. Okay, let's call the undo of these classes of each commands and do whatever we have done, but in the opposite side. And finally, remove that action from that commands from our old commands list. Okay, let's come back to the input handler. In here we have box start position. As far as you remember, in my first test, when I press R, it's come back to the first position of the cube where and was in the first moment of scene lines. So in the void start, as you can see, box start position is equal cube position, box trans position. It can be refreshed whenever you want. It doesn't matter. And it is the public coroutine reply coroutine. Once you want to press button R and replay all of those actions and commands you have done, this coroutine will be called. And in here we will say public static bool should start replay once you press button R in here. Once you press button R, replay command class will call, and in here impl handler dot should start replay will be true. This guy should start replay. And once we replaying, it is replaying equal true. In the void start, button B equal done nothing, button W move forward, S reverse, A left, D right, Z undo command, and R replay command. Okay, in the void update it says if is replaying equal false, okay, handle input and doing all actions. If is replay is not false, start replaying. In the void public void handle input, we will define which button of the keyboard doing what. For example, button A for calling this command, button A dot execute, okay, this object, and function command of button A for storing. For example, for going right, we press button D. Okay, execute command button D, move the object of cube in the command of button D, move to right, and store button D command into the all commands list. As far as you can, and as far as you remembered in the first test, when I pressed D 2 times, 3 times, or A 2 times, 3 times, it called these functions separately and saved the commands specifically into the list. Button R, command R, button S, command S, W, and Z. Once we press button R, in here, start to replay, should start replay equal true if it is true, and if old commands list is is not empty, it's not null, okay, let's call this a start coroutine replay coroutine, and replay coroutine, which is this guy, start coroutine replay commands, but this object, our cube. Okay, set the position of the cube. We call that position we have stored in the void start in the first position of cube into the scene when the scene launches. And okay, call all commands into the list of commands, but at this time call the move function, not the undo, because it is replay. In fact, the replay it is exactly like undo. Look at this, undo. Call the all functions of the each classes, but function undo. But the difference between replay and undo is manual function, but replay call all commands into the list automatically, but with the specific delay. Look at this in here, 0.3 seconds for each function, for each commands. Okay, this is the new system for not new, this is a standard system for storing and encapsulating all the functions and actions in the Unity, which is called command pattern. Let's open it again, play the scene again, I press A, S, S, and D and W. And now I press R. Look at this. And now I press S, 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 D, W, A, W, D. And now I press Z one time, 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 Z one time. It is exactly in the first position I've started. Okay. Um, this is the design pattern of command pattern in the Unity. I hope this tutorial will be helpful for you. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't hesitate to ask any questions you want in the comment of this video and like this video if you like it. Have a great time. Bye bye.